Oh, hey, it's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Good morning. Slightly drizzling today, very chilly day. It appears that my horde is slowly but surely diminishing. As you can see, I've got quite a bit of parking spaces now, which tells you that I'm selling things and getting rid of my tractors. My hope is that this will all be green grass by the time I'm finished. If my damn ramps would just get here from Harbor Freight Tools, I might be able to start looking again for some other tractors. But I'm not ready yet to do that because I still have 2 tractors left to fix. That's plenty of stuff to do. My friend Brian, who lives in this neighborhood, texted me this morning and asked me if I had any LT1000 Craftsman mower decks. And then I said, wow, I just happen to have one. This was from the second mower from the Mondo Mowers trade. Remember that Craftsman LT4000 had a cracked chassis. So I stripped all that stuff down, sold the transmission and other parts, and I thought I'd just keep this 42-inch deck just in case I ran into another LT1000 that I needed a deck for. Well, since I don't, and he needs it, I had it up for $125, but he's my friend, lives around the area, you know, and he asked me if I'll give it to him for $80. He's done me favors before, so absolutely, you know. I'll tell you what, though, I have been selling the LT1000 mulch covers pretty well. I had 3 of them, sold all 3 recently, and this one has it. So I'm going to take this off before I sell it to him, and I'm going to sell this on eBay. And that's another $20 or 25 minus $5 shipping. It'll be like 20 that I profit from it. Plus the 80, it'd be almost the same thing as if I sold this for 125. I listed for 125 only because people will lowball you, and then you know, you'll end up getting it for 100. You will end up getting 100 for it. So I'm going to take this outside, and he's going to come now and pick it up. So what's yet to be fixed? This is mower number 7 from Mondo Mowers. It doesn't have a deck. I have no idea if that thing runs. This is mower number 6 from Mondo Mowers. The only 2 left that I had from the 7 that I got from him through a trade. This one has a deck, but it's in rough shape. I mean, I definitely could probably make one out of the 2, you know what I mean, since they're both Murrays. As you can see, there's 2 parking spots here that used to have tractors there. LT1000 was over there. Another LT1000 was over here. The yellow MTD Cub Cadet was here. The other Noah Syndergaard Cub Cadet was there. This I'm still hanging tough on my price of $675. I might drop it to $550 later. Well, if somebody makes me an offer for $550, I'll take it. This I'm not looking forward to fixing because this is really rough and very heavy. But it has a Kohler V-twin in it. So my own personal machine with a bagger on it. And this is other Murray LT that I should sell soon. I have it for $575, which is really ridiculous. I really got to lower the price. Anyway, so when I was taking this deck outside to the driveway, I noticed that there was a little bit of rust on the mount. Oh, Brian's here. As you can see, not sure if he wants that. So that was Brian. He came by, bought the deck, had a little bit of rust around the mounting point. So while he was going to give me 80, he says, would you do 60? I says, for you, Brian, anything, man. He's helped me out a lot in the past, so we kind of, you know, quid pro quo. He helps me, I help him. So yeah, I'm fine with it. As long as it helps him out and I get a little bit of cash for it, I'm fine with it. Wasn't doing anything with that deck anyway. Anyway, I sold off that Kohler Courage that I just took apart a couple of episodes ago, right? Remember I told you? Even though the Kohler Courage is a terrible engine, it always blows, right? I mean, there are very few that are still out there running and stuff, but every one that I've had contact with has always been blown. Anyway, because it blows so much, people out there want Kohler Courage parts. Even that engine block, right? That was, you know, had 2 cracks in it. I listed for 150 bucks. Somebody said that, you know, my friend 5-Speed Ash said that somebody will buy it, you know. And sure enough, I look at on eBay for Kohler Courage short blocks. There's a few on there that have cracks in them, and they sell them, and it's listed like 150 bucks, you know. So maybe I'll make some money off of that. I'll lower the price every week or so like that if it doesn't sell. But anyway, so lots of people are looking for Kohler Courages. I don't even know if that recorded. Anyway, I wasn't even sure if that was recording because this thing was like all the way back there, you know, but it recorded. Anyway, so a lot of people are looking for Kohler Courage parts because their engines are blowing, right? And they don't make these parts anymore, so they look for Kohler Courage parts online on eBay, you know. So this starter, as you know, I removed it from the engine. The engine I got for free from Nick from Medford. This motor, the starter motor is in very good condition, almost new, because I think the engine was pretty new, you know. Anyway, so I listed it for $38.88. Buy it now with I think $20-something in shipping. So somebody paid me like 50-60 bucks for this. So I'm just going to send it out, and going to list that mulch cover too, so you know, make good money on eBay. Got a couple of Quantum engines here that smoke that I'm just gonna, you know, cannibalize and take the parts off of. I was gonna fix this one over here, but I basically just sold the gas tank for like 25 bucks on it, and I'm just gonna take the parts off of it, use it for parts, because I really don't have a deck to build another mower right now since I got rid of that other thing. So let's move on. Looks like we're going to work on this deck again today. As you guys know from yesterday's video, I put the hood back on yesterday. It's pretty solid. See? That's probably works better than any other Toro Wheelhorse I've ever had that had a hood. Anyway, so as you saw yesterday, I spent all day on this, and it's pretty solid now, I must say. This job is a lot better than the other Toro deck that I was, you know, doing. I mean, I did spend all day with it, and I did do a lot of welding, and you know, I wanted to keep trying to do it because I wanted to get better at welding, you know, and the more you do it, the better you get, you know. Did a ton of grinding too because I had a lot of slag on there, you know, and I just had to grind all that stuff off so that it's somewhat smooth, you know, that there wasn't these balls all over the place. So I used JB Weld to smoothen out some of the sharp edges, you know, and I'm just going to wipe this all down, maybe do some sanding, you know, and then spray it over with some paint. Now, the paint that I normally use is a Sunrise Red from Rust-Oleum. About a quarter can left that I had. However, something clogged on the inside, and when you press onto the thing, nothing comes out, you know. Even if you take the nozzle off and you push down on that, you know, white stem that sticks out, nothing happens. I even poured some carb fluid down there to try to loosen up the dried clogged paint, whatever, just to free up the air. Nothing. So that paint won't come out, which is unfortunate because I need that paint. So I have like another red color paint that I'll be able to just spray over. I'm sure it'll be fine. And then maybe we can put this one to bed. So, as you guys saw, I painted the deck, and then while I was waiting for it to dry, I ATF'd the entire thing. Man, oh man. Doesn't that look great? I'm gonna get you closer. Don't get too close, Henry. Alright, here we go. We're gonna go close. That's pretty good. You know, obviously it's been patched, but it looks alright. I even put this thing back on. That's the nozzle where you attach a garden hose, and then you run it, and it basically rinses the entire bottom part of that deck, you know. So it looks pretty good, you know. Structurally it's sound. The paint doesn't match exactly right, but actually it looks okay, you know. So that's the patching of the deck. Welding, grinding, JB Weld, paint. You know, looks pretty good. I mean, looks way better than before, right? Wiped everything down. It cleaned up real nice. Cleaned the inside rims too. Good shine. Nice shine. Look at the seat. Holy cow, there's no cracks or nothing. I'm sorry, anything. There's no cracks or anything. Really cleaned up well. Check that out. Hardly any rust in that area too. Not even bubbling up, you know. Whoever had this really took care of it. Left it in the garage. Or like they say in England, garage. Before, the mulch cover was loose. So I had to find 2 bolts to secure it on there. It doesn't have the side deflector chute, side discharge chute. And I used to have a lot of them, but I sold them all, so I don't have any more. I mean, not Toro, but any chute, you know. That's okay. It's a mulcher. It's a mulcher! Hydrostatic pedals. Everything looks like it's in great shape. Know what I mean? Oh, you know, when I was cleaning this up, look what I found. I've never seen this before. Key choice. Reverse mowing. So if you turn this key to the right, I guess you can mow in reverse. Never mow in reverse if there is any possibility of children appearing in the mowing area. Like when you're mowing and all of a sudden, poof, a child appears out of nowhere. I guess that could happen. There is actually a reverse mowing selected light right there. Pretty cool. Here's the engine compartment. There was a question on whether or not this was a Vanguard engine or not. Well, I looked it up. 28Q777 is indeed a Vanguard engine. 16 horsepower. So guys, if you see an engine shroud that looks like that, it's a Vanguard engine, and it's a very good engine. So, are you ready for this? While the phone was charging, check this out. So this thing runs great, looks pretty good, and I really didn't do too much to it. Picked it off the street, thanks to a tip from my mailman Quinn. Thanks, Quinn. Went and picked it up. It was only like 2 to 3 blocks away from my house. Sat in my yard for a couple of weeks until I had time to work on it. Rolled it in here. Started right up. Had gas in it. Just charged up the batteries, all I did. I did have to find a key and piece together this hood, which was in 5 different pieces, right? Secured it back on here. Wiped the whole thing down with ATF. Welded, grinded, JB welded the deck, which was rotted in 2 places on the left side of the deck, right? Connected the lights. the wires were burnt up, and so I had to cut them, get a new connector, put it on here. Added about a quart of oil, so now oil is perfect, right? We took it out for a drive, drove it around the block, not a hiccup. Like I said, I wiped it all down, found out about the loose mulch cover, got a couple bolts and put that on. Wiped down the wheels too, but honestly, this was a very easy fix because this machine was in fine condition, you know? Scores! Love scores like that. If all my tractors were this easy to fix, be fantastic. Even though it was so easy, right? Nevertheless, it still took 3 episodes to get it going, you know? Not get it going, but at least get it to where I can list it for sale. Today, my friend Brian came by and he bought a LT1000 deck off of me. That was the deck off of Mondo Mowers number 2, the one with the cracked chassis, and I just parted it out for parts. It's just sitting in my backyard, hoping that one day I might get an LT1000 that needed a deck. But, you know, Brian needed the deck. I had it listed for $125, but he's my friend. He lives around here. He does me favors. I'll do him a favor. So I sold it to him cheap, $60, you know. It had a little bit of rust on it, but he's a mechanic. He can weld and all. Sold the starter off my Kohler Courage that I got from Nick from Medford, and some other miscellaneous covers. I sell stuff every day on eBay. I have like almost 300 items listed on eBay. If you guys want to make some extra cash without even really doing anything, give eBay selling a try. If you guys got a lot of parts and they're just sitting around your thing, take pictures of it, list it on eBay. I'm telling you, it's some people's second income. You know what I mean? It's a good way to make some extra cash, especially if you have a horde of parts like I do. But good day today, even though it's lousy weather. This thing is going to be listed for sale for about $675, I want to say, because it's a hydrostatic. It's got the Vanguard engine. It's in pretty good shape, you know. Transmission runs really well. I don't know if anybody will give that to me, but I'm going to... My friend Doug Fearless on YouTube, he always asks me, can you plug me on my YouTube? But listen, some people have trouble finding your channel because Fearless... You can't be the only Fearless on YouTube. You know what I mean? You got to provide a link on your Instagram. That way people can find you. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I'll find you. I'll put a link on my description. How about that, Doug? Huh? For free. That's right. Anyway, so thanks a lot for joining me today. I'll see you all next time on Mowers and Blowers.